It's time for our last match of the day. It's coming down to this for our men's pro singles matchup, and man, is it going to be a good one. It's Cameron Irwin alongside Dominic Cookie Catalano, and it's been an incredible few days here at the Palmetto Dunes Pickleball and Tennis Center for the Hilton Head Pickleball Open, a part of the USA Pickleball National Championship Series, and there are your contenders. It is Zane Navratil versus Jack Foster. He's the challenger coming out of the losers bracket. So Dom, tell us a little bit of what we know about Jack Foster's game.
It's hot and cold. It can go either way, but right now it seems like Jack is very hot. He took down J.W. Johnson and Dylan Frazier on the bottom side, and then dismissed Jocelyn Duvillier in the bronze medal match to earn his spot in this gold medal match. You're going to see Jack talking a lot, and it'll be to himself throughout this match. He's very vocal, very energetic, so you'll see a lot of that out of Jack.
And then on the other side, Zane Navratil. It's a name we've all come to know, and rightly so. I mean, you can see it already in the warm-ups. He puts a ton of spin, a ton of pace on the ball, and that serve's always something that you pay attention to.
Yeah, the serve is going to be the difference maker here. If Jack can handle the serve, he'll be all right and he'll stay in this match. But then he's got to keep his head. There is some history between the two of these players. Zane Navratil and Jack Foster had a very vocal match at the Cincinnati Open on the APP Tour recently, within the last few months when we were in Cincinnati over the summer. Couple controversial calls, didn't go either player's way. You actually saw Zane Navratil show a lot of emotion in that, and so they do have a history. It's not that it's a bad blood, because they do continue to talk and play each other, and there's nothing going on, but it's always there, and it's always will be there. So that chippiness, we'll see if it ever comes out again.
Well, you also like that a little bit too, right? As a viewer, as somebody watching, you like to see the intensity and maybe that extra little edge coming into a match. It's fun to pay attention to.
Absolutely love it. I want more of that in the game. We need more of that. Get some more excitement in here. Let's go. Get some rivalries.
It was funny. I was talking to AJ Kohler prior to this, and I said, "Who's the black cat?" And he said, "There isn't one yet, but who knows? Maybe now." Zane Navratil with the first serve. And the first point.
Right off the bat, serve comes into play. Foster sends one long.
There's obviously been so much conversation around this serve over the last few months in the pickleball world. And there's the windmill approach. There's the inside-out forehand from Jack Foster, the number 7 seed.
Yeah, and you see, too, he busted out the new two-handed backhand he's been working on. He sent me a video of it about 2 weeks ago that he's been working on it. And looks like it's in play today.
Net not helping Zane Navratil out there. Jack Foster talking to himself, let him know. Maybe go the opposite direction.
Yeah, he pointed at the other side of the court, and he knows he needs to go there.
There's the ball that just goes right into the gut of Jack Foster. Tough serve. And if you've been joining our coverage throughout the last few hours, you're already starting to see a difference in play in terms of their approach and how they get to the kitchen, how often they get to that kitchen line. We just saw the women's senior pro singles matchup, Julie Johnson the victor, and it was all baseline attack. Now, these two are working their way up to the line. I don't know how Zane just got there. Drops the next ball and able to work in. And again, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Zane Navratil just did wind sprints in that rally.
The look on Jack Foster's face after that, he can't believe how many balls that Navratil got to.
And yeah, I don't blame you taking a timeout right there. after that extended rally. That could be a huge momentum shifter. Jack Foster knows it, and it's going to take a little second here in this Jigsaw Health hydration break as he trails by just 1.
And there it is right there. That's the Foster move with the towel over the head. He kind of pulled it down right there, though. But yes, I love this timeout right here from Jack Foster. People would say, oh, it's a little early. Why would you do it now? It's not like Navratil's on a run, anything like that. Long point. Navratil's got a lot of momentum going into that right after that. Don't let it continue. Stop it right there. Regroup, and let's go.
So a bit of a regroup here. Let's see if he's capable of doing such. Just trailing by 1, but a huge play lost.
And that's the difference too, is Foster is not afraid to hit the Navratil serve. So what he does is he swings through it. He doesn't let Navratil spin take a count on his paddle. He hits through it and takes it away.
Medal stand behind court number 7.
I believe we're going to have a reserve here.
We also need
and already a bit of controversy.
Blower to court number 17. Please take your blower to court 17.
I believe the score was called wrong. I like the reach there, but not able to keep it in bounds.
Yeah, and when Navratil's coming full bore right there, he hits that as hard as he does. It's really hard to check that up and keep that in play.
Still stuck at 3-2. Jack Foster making an adjustment from his service placement. He's gone back and forth 3 times. A little gamesmanship, maybe. Maybe potentially working in his favor. Have you ever seen somebody do that?
Nope. First time I've seen that right there. That was something new. Hey, players always new wrinkles to the game.
Three apiece, and he does the same thing again. This time he stays true.
Took something off that serve. Oh, and hits the winner cross court.
And another lead change. 4-3. Ball just wide and a side out for Navratil.
Nice drop there from Navratil. Changed the pace up beautifully right there.
What makes that drop so challenging? Is it the location?
He hits it so well, gets some topspin on it, but he also hits it deep, and it's at the feet of Foster. Instead of dropping soft, it drops with some cut on it at his feet at the kitchen line.
Now there's a question as to whether that ball was in bounds or not. Zane Navratil called that wide. Jack's checking with the line judge.
Jack just doing his due diligence as he questioned it a little bit.
Point will stand. Little net love. And body bags him as Zane comes flying in.
Great get there by Navratil. Foster tries to slip it back down the sideline.
3-point run now for Zane. That's an incredible serve. The height of that.
Yeah, and the key though right now is Navratil is getting that serve deep. Okay, so what's happening is then Foster has so little time to react to it. If Navratil serves it in the transition area, Foster can react to it and then move forward. But because he's pinning him back at the baseline, has to let it bounce. That's why it's so effective right now.
8-4. So a 5-point run for Zane Navratil. He was trailing 3-4, and Jack Foster is going to take another Jigsaw Health hydration break with Navratil with a solid advantage. Again, Navratil coming out of the winner's bracket, so he just has to win this 2 out of 3 games played to 11 points for him to pick up the gold medal.
I mean, I still want to go back to that one point where Foster burned his first time out. Some of those balls that Navratil got, those are absolutely incredible. I mean, he's all over the court. The speed of Navratil is just incredible. And the difference of the last match to this match, we saw all ground strokes last match in the women's senior pro final, and now this match we're seeing everything being pushed forward. So much being played up at the kitchen line.
Well, and it's true, too. You even look back all the way to our women's pro singles for Catherine Parento taking the victory over Leah Jansen. Same thing. Leah doing a really nice job the first game, then struggled a little bit into the second game. But Catherine Parento, she was on one today, playing so solid and true through that winner's bracket.
Yeah.
And back out of the timeout, a well-placed shot from Zane Navratil. Seven-point run and a game point. Ball long. I think that's the first miss serve we've seen from Zane.
Yeah, let's see if Foster can get the windmill working here. Oh, no. So Jack wanted to call it out, but it was on the line. He stopped playing, and ball was in.
Nice job by him, making sure that call is correct. It's another game point for Zane. A little bit of good karma on the side of Jack Foster.
Yeah. Great angle by Jack Foster. Well played point.
I mean, talk about some of the read and anticipation right there. And he's just tiptoeing across that kitchen line, making sure he stays far enough back. So he ends the run and adds one on.
Oh, you see him bend that one back?
Looking for the winner up the line, but it falls short into the net.
So he gets 2 back here. Let's see if he can hold one more. Maybe creep back closer into this. It all starts with getting this Navratil serve.
Third game point opportunity. Not there yet. Another side out for Jack Foster, the number 7 seed. What a save, and just popped back over. On the fourth ball, can Zane Navratil finish it off? Fourth opportunity. Keep Zane deep. And too deep. Ball is out of bounds, and game 1 goes to the number 1 seed, Zane Navratil, 11-6, and a long string of points. Got him. Game number 1.
To change the game, you have to change how you see the game. promise. You've never seen the game like this before.
The beautiful island of Hilton Head has served host to the Hilton Head Pickleball Open on the APP Tour and part of the USA Pickleball National Championship Series. This is our final match of coverage. It's the men's singles pro gold matchup. Zane Navratil picking up game number 1 in this best 2 of 3. Jack Foster will get us started in game 2. Cameron Irwin alongside Dominic Catalano.
And that's a good start right there for Jack Foster as he flips that backhand down the line.
And it was a story of runs in game number 1.
Oh, Foster playing that little cat and mouse game where he's going to serve from.
A little bit of a slide. Oh. And then well placed, recognizing Foster, returning back to the court.
Yeah, good read by Navratil, seeing that Foster's trying to rush back to the middle.
So we didn't necessarily see any aces, but we did see the effectiveness of that serve. The pressure applied by Zane Navratil. The shadows are now definitely starting to creep across the court. Zane Navratil looking straight into the sun. And a second point for Jack Foster.
This is the start he needed in this second game. Needed to come out strong here, not get behind.
Is that in or is it out?
Just wide.
Oh my goodness, so close. I don't think it gets much closer than that. 3-0, so a very solid start for Jack. And again, he chooses to go back to the heavy angle serve and some pace off. Inside out, coffin corner, Jack Foster.
Unbelievable as he gets around this ball. I don't know how he keeps this in. Just gets enough topspin on it to drop it in that back corner.
4-0. Oh, little extra spin. He might have put a hole through the fence, the back of the court. Got to feel like you have a comfortable margin, but maybe not enough against the number 1 seed. As I mentioned, he didn't have an ace. Well, now he does. Yes. 1-4.
Finally gets one right there, yeah, and that's the serve that, Foster tried to take that a little soon off the bounce. And that's an issue when you try and do that with that, is you still, if you're trying to read it and where it's going, but it's very hard to take it off the bounce like that. Oh, there's the two-hander he's been working on right there.
So another side out. Everyone just adds little elements to their games every time we see them. Two-hander the new thing for Jack Foster as he misses that shot up the line, well wide.
You know, you say that, Cameron, it's, you know, during that time, about a year and a half ago when everyone's at home, everyone's staying quarantined, whatnot, a lot of people worked on things, a lot of pickleball players. And when it all came back to tournaments, everyone had new shots. Everyone had new tools in their bag that they were working on. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, look at all this stuff. Look at all this new stuff.
The ever-evolving sport of pickleball.
Yes.
New things taking shape. And new things also heading out the door.
This is very true. That right there.
Another questionable, well, maybe not so questionable call. The ball was called out of bounds. But Zane, of all people, is actually going to question that. 2-4. Jack toweling off.
Jack needs a headband. Keep that hair off his face.
No, I think it's more about controlling pace of play, and rightly so. Huge overhead. And maybe you're right. Yeah, you can see it now. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Maybe go straight Karate Kid style. Oh, an incredible rally finished with the trickler. How about this skit? Or how about that one? He wasn't even facing the other side of the court.
He wasn't looking.
He was facing our broadcast position located behind the court. That's an incredible save from Jack Foster. But the score now is 3-4. Zane Navratil trailing by just one. If he picks up this game, again, he's taken home that gold. Jack Foster's got to do his best to try and hold off the #1 seed. Cameron Irwin alongside Dominic Catalano. I mean, how can you go about doing that against someone like Zane Navratil right now? I know you have to control the serve, but apart from that, what else?
He's just got to keep grinding these points out. Yes, he didn't come out on top of that. The reason he doesn't come out on top of that, not saying he was going to win that point, but he's going to stay in that point longer if Navratil doesn't hit the tape right there. He was in position to get the next ball, so he's got to keep grinding right there and stay in those points. And the biggest key, as always, for Jack Foster, just don't get frustrated. Stay in it, and he's doing a great job of that. The maturity on this young man over the past year and a half is absolutely incredible. That's why he's right here in the gold medal match.
That's a great point to make as that ball goes into the net. So a 4-point run. It was 4-0 with Jack up on top. Now 4-all.
Wow. What a backhand there from Jack Foster. I mean, with some purpose.
Backhand and a forehand. There you go. Another point.
Yeah, and what you're also learning, too, from Jack Foster is that he's working on his strength. Right, he's always had a hard ball, but as he's maturing, he's getting bigger, he's getting stronger. That ball's even harder now.
So another lead change and a side out.
4-5.
And another ace for Zane Navratil. I mean, for those at home, can you talk about what this ball actually does? Because you can see the height, but it travels so quickly in another direction.
Right, so when you talk to Zane, too, he likes when the wind is blowing in his face. So now it moves more, right? And so he has a little wind behind or in front of him right now, so it's coming towards him. So now that's why you're seeing Jack struggle a little bit more on this side, because now it moves a little more.
So from the point it bounces, it will actually move about another foot or so from where you might expect it, as that ball is called wide.
So call is overruled. Navratil calls it out. Foster asked the referee. Referee saw it in.
And Zane going to have another conversation.
Navratil does not agree with the call. Very hard for us to see from this position.
Ball called in bounds. And Jack getting a little bit frustrated. He's sitting at the back, even though the ball is in hand.
Navratil just checking score, and now he calls a Jigsaw Health hydration break.
And I think that's a good call there. After a little bit of an intense point, and this is the best part, now they get to sit next to each other.
You love that, don't you?
I do. I do. Yep. Whoever planned that out.
Great planning.
But I like that, though. After a little bit of a controversial call, maybe didn't go your direction. I mean, if I'm sitting there and that's me, I'm frustrated. I keep thinking to myself, hey, I'm starting to get elevated. How might this take me out of my game? I mean, you have to play so mentally tough in these points.
Exactly, because what happens too is that you could kind of snowball, right?
Yeah.
So as one goes to another, Zane does not want to have that happen. So he doesn't snowball all those points together, say something maybe bad. And he just keeps calm here and calls a timeout.
Oh, and look at who we have. We're having a fun time. Cannon Byron.
Oh, wow. Inside out from Jack Foster right there. Beautifully done.
That's our previously viewed head of the APP Tour and our head official for USA Pickleball on screen. 6-5.
Foster pointing to the other side of the court.
Another good side out. And Jack Foster continues to use that towel. And I use it, in a good way, right? It's almost like a little bit of a security blanket. He goes back to it, uses it almost as a reset every single time.
Yeah, absolutely, Cam. He does. He goes back to it, kind of resets, regroups, wipes off. And you see that in tennis all the time.
Yeah. Give yourself an extra, 3 seconds to, to regroup mentally. I think that one surprised Zane a little bit. Maybe expected that to be pushed away from his body. Instead, ends up right on him.
6-5.
Here's another look at it. Jack Foster questioning whether that ball's in bounds or not.
Ball called out by Navratil, and neither referee able to overrule it. Foster questioned it.
It's been knotted up for a while at 6-5. Haven't been able to move from here. And there we are.
What a ball down the line there from Zane Navratil as you watch it. Coming right at you here at home, down the line. Two-handed backhand just out of the reach of Jack Foster.
Six all.
Yeah, I was just going to say, knotted up at 6 here.
We got stuck on 5-6 for a while too, and sometimes that happens in pickleball where you just get stuck on one number. A little change of direction. Not able to handle that is Jack Foster. And another lead change. Zane 4 points away from a victory.
7-6.
Make it 3 points. Another ace.
Such a good serve. That is all the way back at the baseline. I think it dots the baseline. A Jigsaw Health hydration break here by Foster as Navratil 3 points away from taking this match.
8-6. And another member of the crew, Rob Cassidy, joining in on the conversation. Man, what are they wearing on their eyes, Dom?
Some nice Raya sunglasses right there. Rob Cassidy and Byron Fresso, our head referee here on the APP Tour, snagging a bottle of that Hawaiian Springs water.
There's been a lot of conversation around that serve from Zane Navratil, and a lot of those parties that have been a part of those conversations standing courtside.
That's a great backhand from Jack Foster with a purpose right there. Much needed.
Another great shot from Jack Foster.
And watch him run around this forehand, go inside out. Ball tailing away from Navratil. Just long right there.
And I'm not sure Jack Foster's happy with the call or unhappy with himself.
Look, just long right there. Again, tough for us to see so far away from us on the other end of the court.
Point for Navratil. Lifting it deep, and there it is, finding the ball inbounds.
And watch Navratil, he'll go on his and lean to his right, thinking Foster's gonna go cross court, and he doesn't, goes flat down the line. Great shot by Jack Foster in decision.
It almost looked like he was baiting him to go towards that forehand too with his body positioning. Overhead defended.
Oh.
And paired with that.
What work by Jack Foster on this point. One
8-9.
1 point away from tying this up here, Cam.
Maybe got a little too close to his body there. Didn't quite have the range of motion he was looking for.
And he hooked that well out.
A crucial point here. Navratil with the serve. And it's long. And a nice trickle. That ball inbounds and a little gamesmanship too. Jack asking, are you sure that one was in? When it was well inside the court. 9-all. Yeah, you saw it too, Dom, didn't you? And a lead change, game point opportunity for Jack Foster. Game 2 goes to Jack Foster, the number 7 seed, making this really interesting as we head off to game number 3 just after this.
It was 9-6 with ball in hand for Navratil. Right?
9-7, no.
To change the game, you have to change how you see the game. And we promise, you've never seen the game like this before.
again. Until you strike just right. Until the ball sings. Until the other guy blinks. Until the court's clear. And the sun sets. Until you see it in your sleep. And wake up swinging. Go again. Until you can't miss. Until you can't lose. Go again. And again.
At my age, I get to spend even more time with family and friends and do the things I love. It's also that time when you get to look into more serious things, like Medicare. And maybe you'd like to spend hours on end researching every available option. I wanted someone who could guide me through the process. To compare plans in your area, visit eHealth's website or call one of eHealth's licensed insurance agents today.
And things getting awfully lively here before game number 3. The crowd is ready to go, and so are we. Zane Navratil's got the ball in hand, and he's ready to try and finish this one off and pick up the gold medal and the golden ticket. Jack Foster's doing his best to hold him off as he picked up game number 2. It's Cameron Irwin alongside Dominic Catalano. We're taking you through it all. And I think that slow cloud brought on by Michelle Esquivel is working for Zane Navratil.
So far, so good. And again, it's not always about, we talked about the aces on the serve. It's about short returns just like that Navratil can come in and attack. Oh, what a ball from Navratil here with the two-handed backhand.
Back and forth, you gotta love the effort from that guy right there, but not able to pick up the ball. 3-0, Zane on top.
Yeah, quick timeout here for Jack Foster. I like it. It's not too early. Take it.
Well, and it's important to note, too, you go back to game number 2, and Jack Foster was up 4-0, and then it was knotted up a couple different times. We had several different lead changes. Even on that first, it was knotted up until about that 4-4 point. We even got to 7-4 in game number 1, and all of a sudden, Zane Navratil just went on a streak of points. He has the ability to just run a couple off on you.
Yeah, and both of these players, same thing. They both are very streaky players. If they get hot, they start to feel it. They can rattle off 2, 4, 6, 8 points in a row, and next thing you know, you're down. And you're like, what? And then you're down, and now you're in trouble. So, oh, gosh, Cam, it's been a nice long weekend, hasn't it?
That's great. You can see Zane, that's how he spins. Actually, just in the lower left-hand position of your screen, that's how he spins the ball prior to serving. So he's got a hand on the paddle and uses those fingers to spin the ball off of it. Take a look. Adding that spin prior to contact. And then it adds a ton of spin after the bounce as well and can make the ball actually change direction. So it's not only topspin you're dealing with as the ball comes off the paddle. You're dealing with some side spin, and depending on which way he spins it prior to and the stroke of his paddle changes the direction of the ball.
And Navratil cruising here so far in game number 3.
5-0. Jack Foster goes back to that towel, has a little conversation, tries to loosen up. It's hard when you got somebody playing all lights out like Zane Navratil is right now. Six 6-0, which means it's time for a change of ends. So they get a little bit of a break here in between. Again, this third game just goes to 11 points. The crowd waits to find out if Jack Foster can put something together here, string a few points together. If he were able to do so, where would it come from?
It's going to come from him handling the serve first and foremost, and then him streaking something together. He's got to get the side out first and foremost. If you don't get the side out, you're in trouble. Get the side out right now. You got the change of ends, and then hit your serve here. he's been kind of softening up his serve, and what's happening is he's allowing Navratil to come in. A couple times hitting that hard serve, Navratil on his back heel stays back. That'll allow Jack Foster to come in after his third shot.
Usually when they're trailing, a lot of times you'll see players start to get more aggressive, but is that the solution here?
For Jack, I think it is.
Okay.
He needs to be a little more aggressive here. Take some chances. What do you have to lose right now? You're down 6-0.
And again, Zane is just on a riot right here.
Yeah, I'm right there. And Foster's kind of smiling right here. He's going, you know, there's nothing you can do on that. When someone's hitting good shots like that, what do? Every once in a while, you got to tip your cap, clap, say, hey, nice shot.
And that's exactly what Zane does as well. If you weren't sure, that is officially side out.
0-7.
And another great read. That's the second play we've seen like that from Zane, where he waits and then just attacks the speed up.
Watch this. Goes for the Ernie. Boom. Down with the backhand. Beautifully done. Foster shaking his head. All he knows is he's got to just drop that cross court.
One.
8-0 now for Zane.
Foster's got one more timeout left. See if he uses it either here or maybe after another point.
Can he get there? Oh. The new Peepo board took a little bit of a beating. Watch this get. I mean, I don't think anyone else can get that. It's 2 inches above the ground before it nearly bounces again.
So Foster a little in between on that one, whether he wanted to hit that actually towards the corner.
Oh, and tries to get maybe a little too fancy with it.
Yeah, he got a little too cute right there on that shot. I'd rather him reach in and punish that with his forehand.
Well, it's hard when you got somebody like Zane Navratil that's reading the game so well, and its speed. You almost feel like you have to do that much more, right?
Yeah, exactly. You've got to be perfect. He's covering every inch of that court on his side of the net, and it just frustrates a player to have to deal with that and have to be so perfect with everything.
I love the way when you were talking to Julie Johnson after her gold medal victory, she talked about, you know, the ground stroke game and having to just pull up her laces, pull up her bootstraps, and be able to just stay in some of those rallies. And it feels like that's almost the same sort of context that Jack Foster has to have against Zane Navratil.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not about efficiency of play and maybe being so terminal from the get-go, but maybe trying to stay in those extended rallies.
Yeah, absolutely. You said lace them up. Let's get into some of these rallies and let's go. That's exactly what Julie Johnson did. We talked, like I said, we talked with her, you know, after that match, and she was like, every time I came to the kitchen line, I got passed. Lysandra was passing me every time because she was so good. She's like, it forced me to stay back. She's like, and I had to lace him up and just grind it out, and she did.
Well, it looks like Jack Foster's going to have to lace him up right now as he trails by 9. 2 points away from the victory is Zane Navratil, the #1 seed here at the Hilton Head Pickleball Open. Another untimely error there. 10-0. Zane Navratil has found himself at championship point.
10-0.
Foster smiling right here as he comes back and got a gift right there popped up. And that is sometimes the hardest ball to put away because you're thinking it's coming so fast and all of a sudden it slows up.
No pickle is correct. If you heard Michelle Esquivel from the crowd, one of our pros on tour. It is now 1-10.
1-10.
Overhits it just a little bit. He was money with that shot in games 1 and 2.
Another championship point for Zane Navratil, the second. And there it is, the beautiful forehand, cross court, and the victory in 3 games played. The #1 seed takes home the gold and the golden ticket. And that's a great tournament as well for Jack Foster, the #7 seed, who will be walking away with the silver medal. And some big time victories as well. And all smiles for that man right there. Thumbs up from Zane Navratil. He'll be in the Franklin Pickleball Studio coming up right after this.
To change the game, you have to change how you see the game. And we promise, you've never seen the game like this before.
Last time for the weekend in the Franklin Pickleball Studio, I am with men's pro gold medalist on the single side, Zane Navratil, after his victory over Jack Foster. Congratulations, Zane.
Hey, thank you, Dom. Appreciate it. It's always a good day when I have you multiple times.
Absolutely, man. And Jack Foster did a great job coming back through the consolation side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Went through
giant killer today.
Went through Dylan Frazier, J.W. Johnson, and then Jocelyn DeVilliers.
Usually when you beat those 3 guys, you win a tournament.
Yeah,
That's
usually you do. But hey, come out, you take game 1, 11-6. He comes back and wins game 2. You know, close calls on both sides of the ball. Could have went either way. He takes game 2. How do you regroup after game 2 and come back and win, you know, like that, 11-1 in game 3?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the margins are just so small in high-level pickleball that, you know, it's just a couple things here and there, a couple net cords, couple close balls, whatever. Like, it's, I mean, every game's its own challenge. I think you're seeing more and more split games than ever before. So, just bring the energy, bring the intensity. I love serving first, so got a little run going, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. And your serve was working. Seemed to work more in game 2. The game Jack won, you got a couple more aces in game 2, and then you had it working again in game 3. Again, you're always looking to get points off of that serve. And it's not only just off of the serve, it's off the serve and a shorter return. We saw that a few times in the third game that you attacked. But talk about Jack a little bit, how he's, you know, matured, and you guys have had some really epic battles. This being yet another one of them, you coming out on top of, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Jack is playing phenomenally, and you know, we had a very, very close match in the past where we exchanged words and whatnot, but we've been able to kind of put that behind us, which is, you know, it's good. I don't think there's, you know, the pickleball community is too small to make enemies and whatnot, so it's good. he's maturing for sure. He's maturing in his game and in his attitude, and I love to see it. So he's playing really well, and he's becoming a class act. So I love to see it.
No, absolutely. And then him coming through and beating all three of those guys. Like say, usually when you beat three guys like that, you win a tournament. But Zane, you nonetheless come through undefeated. You were playing absolutely incredible today. I had you a couple times here on 2 times on championship court. How are you feeling now leading into your next tournament?
Well, I gotta hit the Theragun. I gotta hit the recovery air. So it was pretty cool to have the Theragun guys here on site at the APP with the team headquarters van. I was going and getting the massage gun and going and getting the boots done on my legs for good recovery, and that makes a difference. I think Jack might have been just a bit sluggish in game 3, which is to be expected at the end of the day. And I'm fortunate in that I was coming through the winners bracket and also nicely recovered after visiting those guys. So I got to give a big shout out to Tyler and Ken with Therabody, and I'd also love to shout out my other sponsors, of course. So
absolutely. If
you don't mind, Franklin, I actually switched to a 16 millimeter paddle today for singles.
For today.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that in a different interview.
All right.
But I got to shout out Duper as well, Major League Pickleball. And Wilson for these shoes that I get to destroy. So thank you to everybody that makes this a possibility for me.
All right, well, Zane, congratulations. Always good having you in the booth, and always good ending the weekend with you, buddy, in the booth here. We're just missing Althoff. That's all we're missing, right?
Well, we can call him.
We don't need to do that. So
yeah, no, you don't need your public shaming.
No, exactly. Well, congratulations, Zane, gold medalist, men's pro singles. We're gonna sign off here on ESPN Plus for the weekend. Thank you guys for joining us, watching us all weekend. We'll be back soon. Don't miss it.
Thank you, Dom.